this, we're gonna break up, and you guys are gonna have a chance, I think you Friday Harbor people need to catch a ferry, but we'll give you a little chance to talk with people individually after this, so. What do you see as the biggest problem facing the average county resident, and how will you address it? And we're starting off with Bob on that.
The problem I see with the average county resident,
What is that?
the average county resident really doesn't have that much interaction with the county government or the county. They've either purchased a home and moved here and pretty much are unaware. A lot of the people that I talk to are pretty much unaware of the local county government and the processes. They go to the grocery store, they drive on the roads. The thing that most new citizens that I've talked to is they've got a road issue or a speeding issue, but they really don't get involved. If a person were coming here, a young person coming here, looking to plant and find employment and work, the hardest part about that person would be is the first thing they'd have is a housing issue. And that would be the biggest thing facing them. And then after 3-4 years, if they wanted to build, then they would get involved with all the restrictions that we have on building. So that's what I would see if the difference is, if a person has just moved here or if a person is trying to move here and set up their livelihood here.
Michael?
Well, I agree with that too. The biggest problem is housing, jobs, being afforded to live here. The average citizen shouldn't have to be involved with the county except for basic things, building permits, licenses. I wish I think removing the licensing lady from the county offices was a big mistake, because that's one thing that every resident has to have. Going over to Friday Harbor, if you live on Orcas, going to Friday Harbor for all your government functions, it's really difficult. But for a person moving here, just like I did, back in the 70s when I moved here, finding a job, finding a place to stay, place to rent, and then being able to afford the property.
Phil?
Oh, thank you. I think the greatest challenge is really trying to achieve their aspirations, especially when they're young people that are moving here. They're looking for their life ahead, and they have some goals and objectives they want to achieve. I think our young people are really challenged these days with any possibility of achieving their aspirations. I don't see the economic opportunities that are available for them in general, let alone in San Juan County. So the first, for the young people, they can't even move here because it's too expensive. There aren't high enough paying jobs. They're ending up working 2 or 3 jobs and trying to manage a family. If you already have your wealth, then you can come in here. 40% of our residences, I think, is the number. I heard 60% on Orcas, are part-timers. So they come and they go, they come and they go. So that really, detracts from the sense of local community. And so how do we get those people, or the new folks, integrated into the community to understand our values, to understand what's important to us here, to contribute in a positive way, and to be able to work towards their aspirations, whatever it might be, but to have that possibility to, achieve what they're trying to go for. And I think it's particularly difficult here in San Juan County to do that.
Well, the average person, depending on how you look at the average, because our average age has gone from 1987 to 35 to 57 now. So, if you're talking about our aged population, the biggest thing is access to affordable health care, long-term housing for folks on fixed pensions. Interesting stats, San Juan County is all about stats, but we're 1 or 2 with King County as the highest non-W-2 based wage, and we're the lowest county when it comes to W-2 based wage. So we have a lot of wealth that's in this community that's either dividend based or pensions or stuff, but our workers aren't making any money. So You know, I think the most important thing, or the things that people stress the most about, is family wage jobs, affordable housing, and childcare. And then, of course, there's the looming medical issue. I mean, Island Hospital is pulling out of the Orcas Med Center here. We have 3 practices that don't work together. So there's a lot of issues that we struggle with here. And, you know, I mean, we try in my business, all my employees that have been over a year make $15 an hour. We pay for all their health care, 2 weeks paid vacation, and discounts in our store. That's our contribution as a business owner to this community, and we need to figure out how to allow that. People need to be able to make a decent wage so they can have a decent place to live, and I really think that's what it comes down to. 45 to 50% of our kids in the school are on assisted living, assisted lunch programs. I mean, part of the reason I've joined a group called the Opportunity Council as a council rep, and we represent development goals and how we elevate our communities in 3 counties. And I'm on the Family Resource Center board here as well, because I want to figure out how we can help those in need in our community. I think there's a lot of struggling young families. It's really hard if you're 21 and you have a child and you're jumping from apartment to apartment to 3 jobs. And, you know, the old joke is you have 3 houses with 3 jobs, and that's really not a good joke to have here. And we need to figure out how to get real wage jobs for our community and diversify our economy so it's not so consistent or reliant on tourism. Income.
Follow up?
Thanks. So Rick made a good point. I forgot about the healthcare and us gray hairs. In fact, the interesting story is I just got notice that my insurance company is no longer providing policies in San Juan County because they don't negotiate with our local care providers, and therefore they can't get the best price. So being a retiree, I have to pay for my own health care, and I'm gonna have to go out and find a new carrier because my carrier no longer offers it here in the county. So that also brings up the whole senior services, elder care, in-home care. As our population ages, they need help. What services do we have here? What employees do we have here that can actually help the elderly stay in their homes and get a little bit of assistance so they can, you know, live in their house as long as possible before they either pass or go to the next level. So we're all facing that. And the interesting thing about the income versus wage, the wages is a little distorted because it is W-2 based, and most people have multiple jobs. So that deflates the income that the individual may be doing because they're doing 2 part-time jobs, and that counts as 2 independent jobs versus what a single individual might be earning. So just to keep that in mind, but it is true. I mean, we have unearned income great and wage income low. So, but the low wage is a little distorted. You know, statistics are damn statistics.
Follow up?
Yeah, I just want to follow up with my approach was what was facing, the original question was back to what was facing the average person when they came here. If the average person was coming here and they were older, we have to look at the services we provide through our senior services. And we do provide a lot of services through our senior services, and I think one of the main reasons we do that is the big bubble that is going through right now. We're all looking down the road to what services are going to be required. Northwest Regional Council, we've even shown now that for people that are getting some in-care, if you just send a person by, check to make sure the person's awake, they're moving around, they're taking their medication, it's keeping it's keeping the elders out of the emergency wards doing that. But we need to offer services like that are open to our elderly, because I look around the room here except for one. We all are gonna be looking for those services eventually. And, you know, it's all part about the communities that we have, the lifestyle that we've all grown to love and enjoy in these islands, and helping out our neighbors and everyone else. And I think it's a great lifestyle and it should attract more people.
Okay, so we're gonna